Welcome, I'm Kavita Rajput, a child counselor, and every week I share research based parenting tips to help children thrive. Tell me, do you run behind your child with a bowl of food? Just one more bite. Please finish your roti. If yes, you are not alone. Almost every parent has done this. But here's a question I want you to think about. Are you feeding your child or are you teaching your child to ignore their own body? Yes, because when we force children to eat, we unknowingly teach them to stop listening to the two most important signals their body gives them: hunger and fullness. Today, let's understand why force feeding actually creates more eating problems and what parents should do instead. Most parents don't force feed because they are controlling. They do it because they love their child. Food has always been connected with love. When children refuse food, parents feel guilty. My child will become weak, he will lose weight, she hardly eats anything. But here's the reality: a healthy child will not intentionally starve themselves. One of the world's leading experts in child feeding introduced a concept called as responsive feeding. Her research shows that children are born with an amazing ability. They naturally know when they are hungry, how much they need, when they are full. Think about the newborn babies. They stop drinking milk when they are full, isn't it? Nobody teaches them that. It is instinctive. Unfortunately, as children grow, adults slowly start overriding these natural signals. One more bite, finish everything, don't waste food. Eventually, the child stops trusting their own body and starts eating according to the external pressure of parents. Research has found that this can increase picky eating, food refusal, emotional eating, overeating later in life, and mealtime anxiety. The biggest mistake the parents make is they think, if I make my child eat more today, he will become healthier. Actually, the opposite often happens. Eating becomes associated with stress. Imagine someone standing over you every day saying, you haven't eaten enough, finish everything. Would you enjoy eating? Probably no. Children feel exactly the same. Food should never become a battlefield. Parents, you can follow one beautiful principle: the division of responsibility. I'll tell you. In this, parents decide what to serve, when to serve, where to serve, and the child decides whether to eat and how much to eat. This single change removes power struggles. Do try. Now, let me tell you something very, very important. Dinner is not only about feeding the stomach, it is also about feeding relationships. Research consistently shows that children who regularly eat with their families tend to have healthier eating habits, better language development, stronger emotional bonds, fewer behavioral problems, and even lower rates of anxiety and depression as they grow older. So instead of making dinner another task, make it a family ritual. One meal, one table, one conversation every single day. No lectures, no criticism, no questioning about marks, just connection. You can talk about what made you smile today, what was the funniest thing that happened, what are you grateful for today. Children remember these conversations much longer than the menu. And importantly, no screens during meals. Many parents tell me, my child only eats while watching cartoon. I understand it makes it easier, but screens disconnect children from their own appetite. They eat without tasting, without chewing properly, without noticing when they are full. Meals become automatic. Instead, let food become an experience. Let them notice the color of what they're eating, the smell, the texture. Let them talk, laugh, share stories. The dining table is one of the first places where children learn communication. Don't let screens replace conversations. Parents, you can involve children. Here is one of my favorite parenting tips. Don't just invite children to eat, invite them to participate in cooking. Even a 2 or 3-year-old can place spoons on the table, carry napkins, arrange plates, serve curd, wipe the table afterwards. And the older children can wash vegetables, help you peel boiled potatoes, stir the batter, make salads, maybe help you prepare sandwiches. Isn't it? They can help you in simple cooking. Children who participate in preparing food are more willing to taste it and they enjoy the mealtime because they feel ownership. When they proudly say, I made this, they naturally become curious to eat it. Cooking together also builds confidence, responsibility, and family bonding. So, instead of saying finish your plate, try saying listen to your tummy. Instead of just 3 more bites, say would you like some more or are you comfortably full? Simple words, big difference. Now, what if my child eats very little? When this question comes to your mind, ask yourself 3 questions. Is my child growing properly? Is my child active? Does my child generally look healthy? If yes, relax. Not every child needs the same amount of food. Growth charts matter more than the clean plates. If you're concerned about persistent poor growth, significant weight loss, pain while eating, or extreme food restriction, consult your pediatrician or a qualified pediatric dietitian to rule out medical or nutritional issues. So, parents, remember your responsibility is to offer healthy food with love, and your child's responsibility is to decide how much to eat. Trust your child, trust their body. Turn off the television, no mobile, sit together, cook together, laugh together. Make family dinners a beautiful ritual because years from now, your child may not remember what was on the plate, but they will always remember how they felt around the table. And that feeling will shape their relationship with food for the rest of their life. If this video helped you, share it with another parent who needs to hear this. I'm Kavita Rajput, a child counselor, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you. Take care. Goodbye.